All right, it's about that time again. We hop in and make ourselves yet another Pokemon Unite tier list. What is good, internet? My name is JB, and today we're going to go over, well, Pokemon Unite tier list for the new season, as well as Galarian Rapidash's release. And it's going to be a good old time. Go ahead, drop a like if you haven't, and subscribe also if you haven't. I would really appreciate both of those things. And while you're down there, comment the word water. Just the word water, just so I know you're actually watching the video. That'd be really cool. Now, let's quickly go over the tiers. We have our actually broken tier, which are characters I think are actually overpowered and be nerfed heavily. We have our top tier, which are characters that are just very, very good. Could probably use a slight nerf, but they're just really good. Then we have our really solid / borderline OP. These are characters that are like, there's just like one thing holding them back from being like really top of the meta, but otherwise they're still incredibly good. Then we have our solid but not special tier, which are characters that are just like have great things about them, but there's just like nothing that really stands out that really takes them to that next level. We have our mid tier, which are characters that are just kind of existing. They're fine. You can do great with them, but they're not anything special or stand out. And then we have our characters that are in the gutter that are just actually terrible. And these are all my opinions. So if you disagree with anything, that's fine. If you agree with anything, that's fine too. And yeah, go ahead, have some discussion down in the comments below, and let's go ahead and get into this. We're going to start by going through the characters that just already were in the tiers, and then we'll head down to the characters that recently got buffed into the previous patch, and then end things off with Rapidash. So if you just want to see where I put Rapidash, you can go ahead and skip to the end of the video. But I would really appreciate if you didn't do that. If you're going to do that, at least like come back and like, you know, lower the volume and leave the video playing. Give me that watch time, boys. I need it. But go ahead and get things going. All right, starting off in the actually broken tier, we have A9, Mimikyu, Leafeon, Darkrai, and Comfey. Now, listen, I am of the opinion that Ninetales is just extremely overpowered, but is it actually broken? These days, I don't know, man. After the patch and things just going on through, majors are in a weird spot, and I don't really know if they're actually all that overpowered. Now, is Ninetales still incredible? I think so. I think the character is dumb beyond belief. I think its passive is one of the most overpowered things in the entire game. I think getting frozen every 2 seconds by the character is dumb, but is it actually broken? I don't know. Is it even top tier? I don't know. I think it's probably realistically down here, but in my opinion, in my mind, it's broken, but I know it's, you know, actually not, if I'm being honest with myself. So we're going to move it down as much as it pains me to do so because Ninetales is so stupid, but we're going to let that one go for now. Mimikyu, I don't think Mimikyu moves at all. Mimikyu is just disgustingly overpowered, this character. It doesn't get a whole lot of play in comp, and that's why I think some people leave it like lower on their rankings when they do things. But Mimikyu and Solo Q is just, it's just disgusting. There's like very little that you can do about a good Mimikyu. If a Mimikyu starts running through your team, if a Mimikyu starts snowballing a game, you might as well just you know, move on to the next one because you're not winning that one. These characters in the wrong tier. Yeah, Mimikyu is dumb and it needs to be completely nerfed. There's attack side needs to be nerfed. Shadow Claw needs to be nerfed again. Shadow Sneak's range needs to be nerfed. Play rough needs to not give invincibility, or at the very least less invincibility. I don't know. Mimikyu's broken. The only thing bad about Mimikyu is its Unite move. Like Trick Room is even pretty good. Yeah, Mimikyu is disgusting. Leafeon, it has a Unite move that one-shots every squishy in the game. Now granted, there aren't many squishies getting played right now because attackers are in the gutter. Well, not all of them, but one of them is. But yeah, attackers are in a rough spot, but Leafeon is still just incredibly good. It just deletes back lines. Needs to be deleted from the game. Razor Leaf is way too strong, way too early. That character, or that move specifically needs to be really nerfed early game. Darkrai is a weird one. So I do think it is still incredibly strong, even after all the nerfs it's gotten. I think I'll move it down to top tier. It's still incredible. It still should be a character that gets banned a lot. I think it's that good. But is it like a world beater like it was before? I don't think so necessarily. So we're gonna go ahead and put it down there. It's still incredible, but I don't know. It's a little bit more beatable than it was, but is it top tier? I don't think so. Comfey, it's Comfey. Moving on. So our top tier, we have Pikachu, Venusaur, Glaceon, Miraidon, Armarouge, Blaziken, Zacian, Slowbro, Trevenant, Clef, Koopa is the name of that Pokemon, and Eldegoss. So Pika, I think we can safely move Pika down as well. Again, attackers are just in a weird spot right now where there's not many good ones. They just aren't really doing a lot of damage, and they're just dying way too fast because of all the speedsters and all-arounders that are just completely dominating the meta. So it's a good thing in some ways because you're not getting stunned as much, but at the same time, like, mages have a place in this game and they kind of are just not really doing much, if anything, right now. So I don't know, Pikachu's weird. It's still really good as a support character, but is it top tier? I don't think so. Venusaur, Venusaur's a character that I don't think I'll ever be able to move out of the top 2 tiers, so I'm going to leave it here. Despite, you know, it suffering from the same problems as everyone else. This character is just too good. Solar Beam is a great sniper build that can just absolutely delete, you know, some of these divers if you can catch them. And then Pedal Dance is just plain good. Has one of the best Unite moves in the game. I'm leaving it in top tier. Glaceon is broken. Icicle Spear is disgusting. Moving on. Miraidon, we're actually going to move up to actually broken because I think Miraidon is the best attacker in the game. Obviously, you got the skin, so that's a thing that I got. And it's just, that doesn't really play into anything, but it's just really good. Electro Drift is disgusting. The amount of damage it can do with Charge Beam is disgusting. Its Unite move is very good. Miraidon is ridiculous, so yeah. Which is crazy because Miraidon, I think the worst it's ever been was when it released. And people thought I was crazy because I didn't think Miraidon was good when it released. I thought it was mid. And I don't know. Fast forward to now, I think Miraidon's better than it's ever been. Armor Rouge, I think we could safely move down. I'm debating moving it down to solid, but not special even. Because Armor Rouge is weird. Because clearly its damage is solid, but nothing else about the character really is. Pretty squishy. Unite move is mid. I'm going to move it down just 1. You can talk me into moving it down more, but I think Fire Spin is still really good. Armor Cannon's pretty trash. Flame Charger's pretty trash, but Fire Spin's still great. Side Shock is still great. Unite move does some stuff, does some things. It's an alright Pokemon. I think that one build specifically is enough to keep it out of the not special area because it's like that build is like legitimately good. That is like the only thing the character does good. Like, you know, some of these characters just are just there, you know? So that's why I think Armor Rouge slightly separates itself. But then again, does it? Maybe not. I think Armor Rouge does look better there. We're gonna leave it there. Blaziken's still incredible. A lot of damage, a lot of mobility, a lot of everything. Blaziken's great. Zacian, it's Zacian. Leave it there. Slowbro still has its Unite move. Scald's great. Yeah, best Unite move in the game. Stays up top. Trevenant Tree. Probably the second best defender in the game. We'll get to it in a moment. But yeah, Trevenant's still great. We're gonna leave it at the top tier. Unbelievable sustain, good damage, good everything. Clef, AoE heals, dumb. Hoopa never gets played. I can't tell you the last time I saw a Hoopa in my game, but when I do get a Hoopa in my game, they ult at 240. So that's like the last 3 Hoopas I've seen have all done that, but it's very rare. Very rare that you see a Hoopa these days, but the character's still great. Eldegoss presses the A button real good. Did it get its buff in this patch or was it last patch? I think it was the last patch that LD got buffed. It was. But yeah, LD still does LD things, presses the A button, heals a lot. Yeah, LD's great. Attacker, hybrid, fantastic Pokemon. Mewtwo Y. Mewtwo Y is getting a lot of competitive play, but we don't really cater these tier lists to competitive play. Otherwise, Mimikyu wouldn't be in top tier. But if we're talking about competitive play, Mewtwo's been better. But I'm not ever really scared of a Mewtwo as much as we used to be. I think it's fine and really solid / borderline OP. The only thing I'm like, you're ever really worried about Mewtwo is when it Mega Evolves and starts pressing the A button. That's the only time you're ever super scared of Mewtwo. Its moves are whatever. Its Unite moves, whatever. I think it's like borderline OP just because of the A button. But other than that, it's just whatever. Mew. Mew's always going to be just so hard to rank in these because clearly it's an incredible Pokemon with an incredibly high ceiling, but it also has one of the lowest floors in the game where most Mews I see are doing less than 20k damage, or around 20k damage, which is pathetic for any attacker. But it's just one of those characters that's like really hard to be a high level on unless you're incredible at the Pokemon. It's a weird one because like in solo queue, it's really bad a lot of the times. In like duo trio play, it's very good. In competitive play, it's great. You can talk me into moving it down, but I don't know, it's just too good to really change much. I'm just gonna leave it there. Its kid is too good. Desi, if you're playing Razor Leaf, it's down here, but if you're playing Spirit Shackle, I think it's still an incredible build. Really solid damage. Obviously, you have to worry about, you know, stuff like this in the game, but overall, still a good Pokemon. One of the best secures in the game. We're gonna leave it in really solid. Delphox. I think it is better than Espeon and Chandelure. Ever so slightly. I'm thinking about just moving all the attackers down, honestly. Just moving them all down a tier. I might end up doing that. We could just do this. I can't move Ninetales lower than that. Pikachu just doesn't look right up there. Desi is the best ADC in the game. I want to put him a step above these guys. Mew. We can move Mew down. I think moving Mew down is okay. And then Delphox. I think Delphox is better than Espeon. I think it's better than Armarouge. Is it better than Gardevoir? I don't know. We'll get to Gardevoir, but I think Delphox is safe here just because it has a really great Unite move. Fire Spin is still really good CC. Mystical Fire is a good build. I think we can leave it there. We have Gary next. Gary, it still presses buttons. It's fine. Nothing really changed about that. You can talk me into moving it up if you want. Garchomp, I am going to move up. Garchomp is great. It got a little bit of a nerf in the previous patch. That's why we moved it down, but yeah, it's still fantastic. And it's just really good, man. It's got great sustain with its auto attacks. It does a lot of damage. Dragon Combo is disgusting. Ground Build is terrible. Don't ever play Ground Build. But overall, I think Garchomp is a phenomenal Pokemon. And as a Garchomp player, love that. Serena. Serena, we're going to leave here as well. I think Serena is fantastic. Triple Axel has insane levels of sustain. And very good damage overall. Good Unite move. Really strong early. Good late. Good Pokemon. Buzzwole. You could talk me into moving it up, but I think I'm just going to leave it here. Because I don't think it's quite on the level of Blaziken or Zacian or Garchomp. It's very close. But I think it just does get a little bit too punished by stuff like Glaceon and Miraidon. Like, if it can't get close to you, if it can't, like, land a superpower on you, then it's kind of dead. And then, of course, you have people still playing Leech Life, so, you know, Buzzwole's really strong, but I think it's just a slight step below some of these other guys. Swirledge. Swirledge is another character you can talk me into moving up. And I think I'm going to just for a couple of reasons. One, Phantom Force is obscenely overpowered. Just any move that gives you just straight up invincibility is broken in this game. Like, yeah, needs to not be a thing. Psycho Cut is just so strong. Its autos are so strong. Like, you can literally 2-tap like pretty much every attacker in the game. Like, legitimately. Psycho Cut, 1 auto, 2 autos, pretty much every attacker is dead. Unless they can get away from you or stun you or also have invincibility or something. Like, it's disgustingly good. And then its Unite move, despite being like epilepsy warning with the new skin, it's just, I don't know, strong. So Swirledge stays in top tier. You can talk me into it being actually broken, but I don't think it is. It's a little bit squishy, but kind of hard to kill something, so even if it is squishy, when it can just dive underground every 4 seconds or whatever. Anyway, Zoro. Zoro's a tough one. It's another character that's always going to be really hard to place. Because in the right hands, it's the best character in the game. In the wrong hands, it's, well, you know, Sableye. But, I think we just leave it where it is. It's a character that depends too much on who's playing it to, like, really designate it as, like, one of the best Pokemon in the game, because so often people just don't do anything when they play it, so we'll leave it there. Lapras, that's a tough one for me. I think Lapras is a really good, like, brawly all-arounder-y defender. Obviously, it's not really a true defender. There are not very many good defenders in the game right now either. It's really just these two and Umbreon that are, like, truly good. But I would put Lapras next on that list, probably. So we're going to leave it where it is. And we move on to our solid but not special tier. We'll try to move through this a little bit faster. Espeon doesn't really do anything that stands out. It's fine. Greninja, Dragapult, and Cinderace all press A button real good. These characters are way better than you think they are. I think there's a case to be made that, like, they're all, like, better than these mages. Like, just because A press is so good. Like, I think there is a case to be made that they're here. They just don't do anything that stands out too much. Dragapult's probably the best of the three. And then honestly, for the first time ever, I would say Greninja might be better than Cinderace right now, just because Greninja's, like, burst damage is just better than Cinderace's. So we'll put Grin there, and then Cinderace is probably third. Chandelure, you can honestly talk me into moving it down to mid in solo queue, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get flamed. Just because it does really good damage. It's just kind of all the character does sometimes. Imprison is stupidly good, but I never see Shandy's playing Imprison. 99% of them play Poltergeist, so whatever. Then we have Inteleon. I'm moving Inteleon down to mid, and I'm gonna stand by this decision because there's no such thing as a good snipe shot Decidueye or in solo queue, but yeah, that's also true. There's also no such thing as a good snipe shot Inteleon in solo queue. Like, they just don't exist. They simply do not. I have never seen a snipe shot Inteleon pop off in my solo queue game. Liquidation, fine, whatever, but Glaceon exists. It's better than that build in every single way possible, so I don't know. Inteleon's a weird character where, like, it's definitely solid, but Just the fact that so many players play Snapshot and so many players do 13,000 damage on Snapshot just tells me that there's no way the character can be good. Is the character good? Maybe. Maybe. The character is better than the players. And everyone who plays this character sucks. So, I don't know. It's a weird, like, full circle type thing where it's like, the character is good, but all the people who play it suck. But the move is good, but no one can hit the move. So it's like, you're just talking yourself in a circle of Inteleon just being mid. So I'm going to leave it there because until you guys start hitting your snapshots, I'm never going to be scared of the Pokemon. Cramorant, I love Cram. I really, really do. It's so weird, man. Cram just does no damage. They keep nerfing this character to the point where you could like maybe survive in a fight with an all-arounder, you know, sometime last year. And like most of the time you could, right? But nowadays, if a Serena gets on you, you have no chance. You just blow up and maybe you get lucky and hit a surf combo. Maybe you get lucky and your air slash does a little bit. Maybe you can get away with dive, but like, I don't know, man. Cram is in a weird spot. Good Unite move, decent damage, but again, attackers are just in such a weird spot. Charizard is the Unite move button and that's it. It's whatever. Champ. I have literally nothing to say about this character. It is a definition of solid but not special. All of its moves are okay. So Unite move is okay, but I would rather have any of these other all-rounders on my team. Dragonite. Hyper Beam is really good right now. Outrage is always going to be solid. I'm moving Dragonite up a tier. It's just kind of like a poor man's Garchomp with the Outrage build is the thing. Like, I would rather play Garchomp every single time. I would rather play Gyarados than Outrage Dragonite most of the time, but Hyper Beam is really good. It's a good auto attacker. I like Dragonite. We're going to leave it there. Azu, definition of this tier. All it does is decent. Nothing about this character stands out in any way, shape, or form, but none of it is really bad. Dark Bear, same thing. Lucario, same thing. Metagross. I like Metagross, but I don't think I could justify moving it up just because I don't see it enough. If I were more scared of this character, I could justify moving it up, but I think Meteor Mash is really good. Jar Ball is decent for sustain. Overall, I'm just going to leave it where it is. You can talk me into moving it up, but I'm not going to. Tinkaton, I think, is the most mid character in the game. And not mid as in mid tier, as in down here. I just think it's like, I don't know, man. I talked about it a lot in the last video, but I think all the problems that it has still stands. This character is so weak unless you can attack it, or stack your attack weight stacks. Stack your attack weight is the easier way to say that. It's so weak unless you can get that, but it's so hard to stack your attack weight because you have no last hit because you don't do damage until you get your hammer stacks or your attack weight stacks. So it's like you're constantly playing a mini game of trying to build up your damage, but you're not doing any damage, so you can't farm, so you can't stack, so you can't get your damage up to not just die. Like, if you don't do damage, if you don't get a big hammer off, you're just dead. So like, I don't know, it's weird. I see it pop off, I see it do well sometimes, but most of the time it's just, I don't know, yay, a Gigaton hammer that I've walked away from that has no radius. Like, I'm not scared of that. So I'm gonna leave it where it is. You have more struggles with it than, I don't know, I don't know what to tell you. I never fear this Pokemon. Well, another reason I never fear this Pokemon is because people keep banning it. Stop wasting your ban on this character. Stop it. This character is terrible for a ban. Like, it is by no means one of the even 15, 20, 30 most broken characters in the game. And it has like, what, the third highest ban rate still? Hold on, we gotta check this. Because it is ridiculous how often I see Tinkaton get banned in my games. It's like legitimately 50% plus of my games Tinkaton is getting banned in, which is just absurd because the character is not good. I'm waiting for Unite API to load and it's not wanting to, so we'll come back to that in a minute if I remember. But we'll move on to Dodrio. Dodrio is a weird one. Obviously, it's outclassed now by this thing for the role of Speedster that just runs around and annoys people. But its damage is fine. We'll leave it where it is. I think API loaded. Yep, meta. Oh my god, JB, you only have a 50% win rate. You're terrible. I know. Oh, its ban rate went down. Okay, it's going way down, but still, it went down almost 5.5%. So it would have been right here. It would have been banned more than Umbreon last week. Oh, also we're banning Aegislash. What? These 4 bans make sense, including the horse. People are just banning the horse because it's new, and 99% of players just ban the new character because they're lame. But obviously, horse is really good. We'll get to that. But yeah, I mean, stop banning dumb shit. Like, stop banning this. Stop banning this. Stop banning this. What are we doing? Not like none of, if we go up to Zoroark, none of these characters should be above 5% ban rate. Like Zoroark and down, maybe you could throw Sorrel Edge in there, but I don't think Sorrel Edge is that good. Like none of these characters should really ever be banned. Ever. Maybe Comfey. Obviously I ban Comfey a lot, but like, what are we doing, man? And now I'm just curious, like, one person banned Cram. Lol. I saw Charizard get banned in a few games. Like, I think I'm in like half of these 0.34% of games. Charizard gets banned in my games, weirdly enough. It happened like 4 times yesterday. I think it might have been like, might just be like a couple players who just really don't like that one. I am glad to see people have stopped banning Ho-Oh. That's good. I'm surprised Garchomp is so low. I guess no one really plays, but Garchomp is incredible. Gujar at 1% is absolutely ridiculous. This is the worst one. This is the actually worst one, though. Leafeon at 1.4%. Leafeon is one of the 3 best characters in this game, and it has like a 1% ban rate. Anyway, sorry to go off on that tangent. Let's move on to Talonflame. Talonflame is just a player-based issue. If your Talonflame is actually in fights and doing stuff, it's a fine character. If your Talonflame is backcapping the entire game, well, you have a Sableye in your team, and, well, you see where Sableye is. Blastoise, I'm moving Blastoise up. Blastoise is back to being pretty good. Stuns a lot, has good damage. I think the Rapid Spin build is pretty underwhelming right now. Well, at least Rapid Spin Water Spout. They nerfed that build into the ground, but the Stun build is back. Pretty good, so we'll put it there. Ho-Oh, God, I'm doing it, dude. Ho-Oh is so terrible. Ho-Oh is borderline bad. Its Unite move is the most overrated thing in the game. I've gone on this rant before, but if your team isn't near you when you die, what does your Unite move do? And that's like the only good thing about the character. Like if one person dies near you, you're using your entire Unite move to res one person. Okay, that is the most underwhelming thing ever because you're 9 times out of 10 resing them back into the middle of the fight with half HP. If they came with a shield or a higher percentage of HP, maybe. Like maybe if you res your entire team, obviously 50% HP is fair. Like if you res all 4 people, but if you res one person, they should come with like 75% HP and a shield. And then if you res 2 or 3 people, they get like 60% or 66% HP and like a slightly smaller shield depending on 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 people res. Like change the Unite move so it isn't an all or nothing button. Like that is literally what it is. Every now and then you'll get a huge game-changing res where you do res all 4 people and you can flip a fight. But 90% of Ho-Oh Unite moves are just resing one person and then that person dying instantly again. Other than that, the character does absolutely nothing well. Fly is okay. They nerfed whatever the spinny move is. Well, they nerfed both Fire Spin and Sky Attack. I wanted to say Mystical Fire, but I knew that was wrong. They nerfed Sky Attack into the absolute ground. Fire Spin is still okay. Flamethrower is okay. But overall, Ho-Oh's borderline terrible. I think Ho-Oh is the most overrated Pokemon in the game. Crustle. They nerfed him, but he's still doing crusty boy things. There's really only cooldown nerfs. It's a slight damage nerf overall, but Crustle's still fine. Really good Unite move still. They nerfed that too, but I don't know. Crustle still, its kit is just good. Not better than obviously other defenders, but it's aight. I think I'm about to skip Mamo and Lax, but whatever. They don't do anything that stands out, so they're staying where they're at. Mime is okay. Mime is all right. It's just gotten outclassed by Wiggly for that like support defender hybrid role, and of course Psyduck. But it's still good. Good Unite move. Good stuns. Just nothing crazy. Moving down to Mewtwo X. I'm gonna move Mewtwo X up. I think that's a little bit too low for where I think the character is overall. It's fine. It really does fit that more like Mime, Wiggly, like defender hybrid role more than just like a brawling all-arounder. It can do good damage, but its damage is a little bit underwhelming to like call it, you know, up here with these guys, obviously. So we'll just throw it right there in the middle of everyone else. Same thing with Sizzler. I was a little bit hesitant on the Sizzler buffs, so I just left it in mid, but it's fine. Like it is the definition of fine. It's not crazy good. It's not overpowered, but it's not terrible anymore either. I think it just fits right here in the lump of other all-arounders and other characters where you can carry a game with Sizzler or you can be useless on a game with Sizzler. It's a 50-50. Tyranitar. Same problem it's always been with the Pokemon, really. If you can get your levels early, you'll be fine, but half of Tyranitar players are stuck at Pupitar at 430, so it stays in mid, but yeah. Scyther, I think I skipped it. It's just I never see the character played. Never. And I can't, I don't know where to put Scyther. I don't know where to put it. Because I gotten destroyed by a Scyther, but that was like a literal UCS player who finishes like top 5 in UCS, which isn't really, yeah, I mean, it's UCS in 2025. Like, people still play this game competitively. I don't know. They do, obviously, but that wasn't meant to be shaded at anyone. But like, it was like a guy on like a top team in NA who killed me on Scyther, and he could have killed me on, you know, any character. But that's like the last time I've seen a Scyther was Machisel. And yeah, other than that, it's like, I never see the Pokemon. I don't know if it's good or bad, so I'm just gonna leave it there. Phalanx, I think Phalanx is, listen, if I'm talking with my heart, I would move Phalanx up a tier, but it has like the lowest pick rate in the game and has for months. Like, no one plays this Pokemon, but like, it's not bad. Like, I swear this character isn't bad. Specifically, beat up Ironhead, I don't think is bad, which is the highest win rate build by a wide margin. I mean, Megahorn No Retreat is fine, but like, people are playing Megahorn beat up. I think Ironhead is clearly better than Megahorn. I think this build is legitimately like good, but I don't know. I'm gonna leave it there. Gengar, it is the definition of mid. Like, it has the same problem as Tyranitar, where if you can get your levels early, if you can snowball early, you're fine, but if you can't, you're just there. Zera, I refuse to put Zera Aura down here anymore. We're moving it up. I honestly want to move it up again, but I'm not going to, just because I know I'm biased towards this character. I think Discharge is one of the best moves in the game, and you guys know me. I went on the rant earlier. I think any move with invincibility should be removed from the game because it's overpowered. Yeah, Wild Charge is broken, but the character's just kind of whatever. I think it's way better than other Pokemon, but I don't think it's like anything too special. Meowscarada, it's so weird because I think the character is also just like inherently good, but at the same time, it's like, no, dude, it's just a problem. Maybe it's my games, but every single Meowscarada player I get is bottom of the barrel. I think Meowscarada players might be the worst player base in the game. It used to be Talonflame players. It was Pikachu players for a while. I think Meowscarada players have taken the cake as worst players in the game because they, for whatever reason, just at a way higher percent than every other player I've been running into recently, they just tilt right off rip and just quit playing the game. And yeah, but it does have one of the most broken passives in the game. Still has a good Unite move. You can talk me into moving it up, and I guess we can, just because I think its passive is that broken. Moving a character up just for its passive wouldn't be the first time I've done it. So, yeah, we'll move it up, but it has the worst player base in the game, I think. Greedence. I guess I can move Greedent up one. I'm not really too convinced by that one. I don't think Greedent is all that good, but I do think it's solid. I think it's a respectable Pokemon. Bullet Seed does good damage. It's really more of like a speedster hybrid all-rounder thing. I don't know. The Greedent's weird. Like, it's not bad anymore, but it's not, I don't know, something I'm scared of, so we'll just leave it there. And then we move to our pair Pokemon in the gutter. We have Duraludon, still the worst Pokemon in the game. You can't convince me otherwise. Like, one shot, who cares? One shot. All these characters can one shot Duraludon, and Duraludon can't get away from it, so you're telling me this character is good? I don't know. And then Sableye players just throw games. It stays in the gutter until Sableye players prove otherwise. All right, moving on to our patch. So first off, we have Gardevoir. Gardevoir didn't really get a lot changed in terms of like multiple things, but it did get a pretty sizable change in that it now evolves at level 7. And that is pretty nifty, being able to evolve a level sooner. I previously had Gardevoir in top tier. I'm not going to move it. I think it is the best like pure mage in the game. Venusaur's like a sniper, brawl, all-arounder, hybrid with Petal Dance. Like, Venusaur's like a weird just hybrid attacker. Glaceon is just broken. But like the best pure mage you actually have to do stuff on, I think, is Gardevoir, so leave it there. Sylveon got some stuff. It has a buff to Mystical Fire, does more damage, and then Calm Mind had a half-second knocked off its cooldown. Wow, what a buff. A whole half-second more. Where did we have Sylveon previously? I had it in Solid But Not Special. That's exactly where it is going to stay. Then we got our boy Aegislash. Sword actually has some really nice buffs. It got buffs to its defense stats in shield form, I believe. I believe it was in shield form. Maybe it's just overall, just whatever. It got defense buffs, and it got a buff to its auto attack damage. It does more percent HP, which is really good on its boosted attack. And then it got a wide guard cooldown a full second. So we previously had Sword in the solid but not special tier, but I think we move Sword up to join the crowd in borderline OP / really solid. I think the Pokemon is very good. Does really, really, really good damage now and has really good sustain and is bulkier. I think Sword is great. Having one of its best runs in a while. Urshifu. Now, Urshifu is really weird because I had an awful time trying to get content on this game, and then apparently I died too much in the video that I did play Aegis Slash, even though I got solo ulted 5 times. I got dove in my jungle once, and then I got left abandoned at Ray Fight by my defender who backcapped. But apparently, you know, all that's not under my control. But I don't know. I don't think Urshifu got too much out of this. I think I'm just gonna leave it in solid but not special. You could talk me into moving it up to really solid, but I think it's still fine. I think if it could, you know, permanently use Surging Strikes again, it would be better, but it can't do that. So I think I finally have it in a decent spot where it's not crazy broken, but it's not bad. Umbreon, yeah, they allegedly have nerfed this Pokemon again. Allegedly. They really didn't. They gave you a half-second nerf to your wish cooldown. Darn. Went from 5.5 seconds to 6-second cooldown. That's so damn tragic. Then Foul Play actually got a little bit of a nerf and a buff. It got overall a nerf to its damage. So on the first hit, or just overall, your damage went down from, you know, just your ratio percent damage of your attack, and your base damage went down. But the damage on your second hit got buffed. But the nerf to the first part made the buff to the second part not as significant. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's still broken. It's still Umbreon. No one plays Foul Play anyway. Everyone plays, I mean, like Wish. I mean, Foul Play is really good, but yeah, it's Umbreon's broken. I don't think we really need to spend too much more time on that. Next up, we got Goodra. Goodra received one of the bigger rounds of buffs here, as it got a buff to its passive from 8% to 10% slow on Gooey. Muddy Water got a damage reduction buff of 5%, and then Acid Spray got a stun buff of about half a second. We previously had Goo in the mid tier, and I think we can move it up to join its friends in solid but not special. Because personally, as much as we all love Goodra on the channel, and Goodra is like a favorite of ours here, I still think the character has a little bit of flaws. Obviously, it does struggle against mages. Now, granted, we're in an era where mages aren't exactly all of that, but there are still good characters in the game. Like a Glaceon will absolutely shred through a Goodra 99% of the time. Miraidon just destroys Goodra. Not even a fair matchup. And then you actually have to be able to get close to speedsters to do stuff. But brawling with other defenders and other all-rounders, Goodra's still going to be great at that sort of stuff. We'll never not be good at that. But yeah, we'll leave it where it is, or move it up a tier, basically. And yeah, I still think Power Whip is better than Acid Spray, even though Acid Spray got the buff. I don't know. Maybe I'm controversial for that, but yes. Psyduck. So Psyduck, I'm willing to take my L on. I had Psyduck in the really solid / borderline OP. I'm moving it up to top tier and probably broken. I don't know if I want to put it in broken, because I don't know if I think it's like that OP. It's definitely incredibly good and incredibly annoying. Its passive being like a stun that's up all the time. A really good Surf Psyduck will ruin your day. And then I forget which move it is, whichever one pushes you. Not Disable. Psychic, yeah. A really good Psychic Psyduck will ruin your day, but mostly, like, it's just a good Pokemon. It's just a really good Pokemon. It could be broken. I do think it is worthy of banning, so I guess you could probably say it is actually broken. But like, the character doesn't do a lot of damage. If you do catch it without its passive, like if its passive doesn't affect you, if you full heal its passive, you dodge Psychic, like, you know, it can be fine. It can be beatable. It is pretty squishy if you do catch it, as I was getting at, but we'll put it in actually broken. But I don't know. It's definitely the worst character up here. I don't think it really belongs up there, but whatever. Next up we have Wiggly. Wiggly got a few nerfs. We got a nerf to Double Slaps damage, Dazzling Gleam damage, and it got a buff to its shield duration for its Unite move, and just its shield in general for its Unite move. We had it in top tier, and that's not changing. It's incredibly good. Yeah. One of the most broken passives in the game. Great Unite move. Its damage is still decent. Like, you don't play Wigglytuff for the damage. You play it for Sing and its passive. So yeah, none of those things really got changed, and they're still good. So stays there. Blissey. I hate this Pokemon. Helping Hand got nerfed, which I guess is a good thing, and they buffed its Unite move. We had it in top tier. I think I'm moving Blissey up to broken. I think it's the best support in the game currently. Granted, like, we kind of separate Comfey here because Comfey is just like broken on like a completely... Comfey's broken on the game design level. Blissey's broken on a balance level. Like, Comfey's design is just completely, utterly broken, but Blissey's buffs the last few months are broken, or what makes the character good. Like, it's actual gameplay is what makes it good. Comfey's design is what makes it broken. But yeah, Blissey's ridiculous, man. Its Unite move is already one of the best in the game, and now you get it like 4 or 5 times a game. It's ridiculous. Obviously, Eggs is still a great build, and then Helping Hand, Safeguard, still a great build. I don't know, man. Blissey's ridiculous. And then finally, we get to the new horse on the block, Galarian Rapidash. And it is listed as an all-arounder here with like the purple background, but it is a speedster. And I am going to probably be pretty controversial. And I think I'm going to be weird and put it in top tier. I think that's where I want to put it. I don't know, man. It's a strange one because the best day I've had playing it was release night, where I was dominating every single game I played on Rapidash. But since then, it's been like 50-50 whether or not I do really well on it. And it kind of just feels like an assist machine. And obviously, it has like the absolute disgusting ability to just have unstoppable up pretty much the entire game. But the thing is, it still has speedster squish. So if you do get caught by like a Glaceon, or, you know, get caught in a mean look, get caught by a Shadow Claw, like your shield's gone, and then you're kind of just a sitting horse. But if your shield is up, if you're able to keep it up the entire game, able to run around, dash in and out of battle, it can be good. I think both Smart Strike and Agility are fine. I prefer Agility. Obviously, Dazzling Gleam is way, way, way better than Fairy Wind. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Fairy Wind buffs even. And I don't know if we'll see nerfs. I think we could probably see a little bit of a nerf to Dazzling Gleam, maybe. I know some people think this character is overpowered. Some people think this character is mid. I'm somewhere in the middle where I think it's really good. I think it's fine. I think its Unite move is borderline terrible. Awful Unite move. It's only good if you can catch like a squishy below half HP. If you ult in a group, you're just useless because you'd rather be clicking Dazzling Gleam than Unite moving. You can use your Unite move to run, but like that's a waste of a Unite move, you know? I don't know, man. I'm not saying it's not broken, but I don't think it's like, because it kind of is, dude. It kind of is broken. But I don't think it's like on the same level as like these characters. It doesn't feel right putting it up here. I think it's a lot closer to Darkrai than it is to Mimikyu or Leafeon or Umbreon. Because I think if you do get caught, you're just dead. Obviously, the name of the game is not getting caught, but you know, every now and then you will. So I think I'm gonna go top tier and settle there. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. If you agree, let me know. But those are my opinions on Rapidash. Very strong. Dazzling Gleam's great. Terrible Unite move. Your shield's gone. You're dead. Good Pokemon. Great Pokemon even, but broken. S tier. You could say this is S tier. You could say this is S plus. Like if I were actually like putting that, I would say like this is like your S plus tier. This is just your S tier, but we're not really worried about that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Rapidash is busted. So yeah, here's the tier list. Let me know where you agree or disagree, and I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Take it easy.